The acrid stench of smoke clawed at Alex's throat as he stumbled through the crumbling doorway, flames licking the walls like vengeful tongues. "Jake!" he screamed, his voice cracking over the roar of the inferno. But the bully who'd tormented him for years lay motionless amid the debris, oblivious to the hero charging into hell to drag him out. In that split-second blaze of chaos, Alex knew one truth burned brighter than the fire. Hate could forge chains, but love, raw, unspoken, would break them. Alex Rivera had always known he was different, even before the whispers turned to shouts in the hallways of Elmwood High. Elmwood, Ohio, was the kind of Rust Belt town where football Fridays lit up the Friday night lights, and everyone pretended the world ended at the county line. At 17, Alex navigated it like a minefield, his backpack slung low over one shoulder, earbuds blasting indie folk to drown out the world. He was out, proudly, defiantly, since the day his mom found his diary at 14 and hugged him tighter than she'd ever hugged anyone. "You're my brave boy," she'd whispered, her calloused hands from years at the auto plant cupping his face. But bravery didn't stop the slurs or the shoves. It started small, the way these things do in towns like Elmwood. Freshman year, Jake Harlan, captain of the varsity team, all broad shoulders and easy grins for the right crowd, had cornered Alex by the lockers. "Fairy," Jake had muttered, low enough that only Alex heard, but the word landed like a punch. By junior year, it was a ritual. Jake's crew circling like wolves, Alex's books spilling across the linoleum, laughter echoing off the cinderblock walls. Alex never fought back, not with fists, anyway. He fought with silence, with the fire in his green eyes that said he saw through the bravado to the scared kid beneath. But Jake's dad, Harlan Sr., Big Tom Harlan, with his grease-stained Ford truck and a beer gut that strained his flannel shirts, that was the real venom. Tom owned the local garage, Harlan's Auto, where half the town got their oil changes and the other half their gossip. He was the guy who blasted country radio loud enough to rattle windows, the one who'd vote red down the ballot without a second thought. Alex first crossed his path on a sticky August evening, biking home from the library with a stack of novels tucked in his basket. Tom's truck screeched to a halt beside him, gravel spitting like gunfire. "Hey, queer kid," Tom's voice boomed, slurred from the six-pack riding shotgun. He leaned out the window, face flushed under his trucker cap, eyes narrowed to slits. "This ain't no parade route for your kind of freak show. Pedal faster before I run you off the road." Alex's heart hammered, but he didn't flinch. He met Tom's gaze, pedaling steady, the words, "I see you," burning unspoken on his tongue. Tom laughed, a bark that echoed down the empty street, and peeled away, leaving Alex shaking but unbroken. Word spread like wildfire. Ironic, Alex thought later. By Monday, the whole school buzzed. Harlan's dad had put the fag in his place. Jake avoided Alex's eyes in the hall that week, something flickering in his blue ones. Guilt? Pity? Alex couldn't tell, and he didn't care to. He had Mia, his anchor. Mia Chun, with her choppy black bob and rainbow pins on her backpack, had been out since middle school. They met in art class, bonding over sketches of impossible futures. Alex's cityscapes with glittering spires, Mia's portraits of fierce women holding hands. "Screw 'em," she'd say, linking arms as they walked to lunch. "We're the revolution, babe." That fall, as leaves turned the Ohio hills to fire, tensions simmered. Alex threw himself in a theater club, snagging the lead in the fall musical, a brooding outsider in a town that mirrored his own. Rehearsals were his sanctuary, spotlights chasing away shadows. But Jake was there too, roped in by coach for extra credit, fumbling lines as the cocky jock sidekick. Their first scene together crackled. Alex's character confronting Jake's with raw vulnerability, words like daggers wrapped in silk. Offstage, Jake muttered apologies for flubbed cues, but Alex waved them off, the air between them thick with unspoken barbs. One rainy Tuesday, it boiled over. Alex lingered after rehearsal, wiping makeup from his face in the dim auditorium light. Footsteps echoed, heavy, deliberate. "Jake Rivera," he said, voice low, hands shoved in his Letterman pockets. "My dad's an asshole." What he said, that wasn't cool. Alex paused, towel mid-swipe, surprise flickering. It was the closest Jake had come to an olive branch. Yeah, well, Alex replied, voice steady. Your dad's not the one getting the slurs tattooed on his back. Jake winced, rubbing his neck, the scar from a childhood bike crash peeking from his collar. For a moment, the bully looked human, lost, almost. Then the door banged open, coach calling practice, and the moment shattered. As October deepened, Alex felt the weight of eyes heavier than usual. Whispers in the cafeteria, Tom's latest rant at the diner, calling for real American values while nursing his coffee. Alex's mom, Elena, noticed the shadows under his eyes. Mijo, you don't have to carry this alone, she said one night over canned chili, her work-weary face softening. Alex forced a smile, but inside, doubt gnawed. Was bravery just a pretty word for enduring? Mia dragged him to the fall festival, cotton candy and hayrides a brief escape. But even there, Tom's truck loomed in the parking lot, a sentinel of judgment. Little did Alex know, cracks were forming in the Harlan fortress. Jake came home that night to find his dad passed out on the couch, TV blaring a football game, empty bottles like fallen soldiers. Jake's little sister, Lily, 10, all braids and big dreams, peeked from the kitchen, eyes wide. Is he okay? She whispered. Jake nodded, but his stomach twisted. Dad's rages had escalated since Mom left 2 years back, trading Elmwood for Cleveland and a fresh start. Jake shouldered it all, the garage shifts after school, Lily's homework, the mask of the golden boy. Alex was the outlet, the easy target, because admitting the truth, that Jake envied his quiet strength, would unravel everything. The first twist came unannounced, a Thursday detention that trapped them together. Alex for disrupting class, reading a poem aloud, Jake for mouthing off. The classroom smelled of chalk dust and regret, Mr. Ellis droning about quadratic equations at the board. Under the desk, their knees brushed, accidental, electric. Alex jerked away, heat flooding his cheeks. Jake didn't. Instead, he slid a crumpled note. Sorry for everything. Truce. Alex stared, pen hovering. Truce with the enemy? But those blue eyes held no mockery, only a plea. He scrawled back, prove it. And just like that, the walls began to crack. Winter crept into Elmwood like a thief, frosting the windows and sharpening the edges of old grudges. Alex woke to the sound of his mom's alarm, the pre-dawn grind of her shift at the plant a metronome to his restless dreams. Lately, sleep evaded him, chased by visions of flames. Ironic foreshadowing he couldn't yet grasp. School dragged, a gauntlet of sidelong glances, but the truce with Jake held, fragile as new ice. They'd nod in the halls, Jake tossing him an extra apple from his lunch tray once, Alex lending a highlighter without a word. Mia noticed, arching a brow over her sketchpad. What's this, Stockholm Syndrome? She teased during study hall, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. It's nothing, Alex muttered, but his pulse betrayed him. Jake's presence lingered like cologne, subtle, invasive. In theater, their scenes deepened. Jake's character evolved from antagonist to reluctant ally, mirroring the boy offstage. One evening, as snow flurried outside, they ran lines in the empty green room. You think I'm a monster? Jake's character demanded, script trembling in his grip. Alex ad-libbed, voice soft. I think you're scared. The words hung, too real. Jake's eyes locked on his, breath catching. Then the stage manager burst in, shattering the spell, but Alex carried the echo home, a warmth against the chill. Tom Harlan's mockery escalated that December, a public spectacle at the holiday bazaar. The town square glittered with lights, booths hawking wreaths and hot cider, families bundled against the wind. Alex manned the theater club's table, selling tickets to the winter showcase, Mia beside him hawking her handmade pins. Tom's voice cut through the carols like a chainsaw. He loomed by the funnel cake stand, gesturing wildly to his buddies, fellow garage hands, faces ruddy with rum. See that queer kid over there? Prancing around like he owns the place. Next thing, he'll be teaching my boy to paint his nails. Laughter erupted, coarse and communal, heads turning toward Alex. Alex froze, cider cup crumpling in his fist. Mia's hand found his under the table, squeezing fierce. But Jake was there, across the square, plate of cookies in hand for Lily. He heard, his face drained of color, jaw clenching as he shoved the plate at his sister and stormed over. Dad, he said, voice low thunder, Knock it off. Tom blinked, surprise morphing to scorn. What? Truth hurts, son? Defendin' the pansy now. The crowd hushed, a circle forming. Jake's fists balled, but Alex stepped forward first, chin lifted. Mr. Harlan, your words are as empty as that bottle you're hiding in your coat. Merry Christmas. Gasps rippled. Tom sputtered, red-faced, but Jake's glare pinned him. For the first time, the bully stood with the mocked, a silent shield. The fallout lingered like smoke. Jake skipped school Friday, rumor mill churning. Family drama at the Harlans. Alex paced his room, guilt gnawing. Had his barb pushed too far? Mia crashed on his floor that night, sleeping bag unrolled amid comic books. You were epic, she said, popping popcorn kernels. But Jake, there's something there. Not hate. Hurt. They talked till dawn, Mia sharing her own scars, her parents' quiet disapproval, the cousin who cut ties after her coming out. Love's the weapon, she said. Not fists or fire. Alex nodded, but doubt coiled tight. Love for whom? The question haunted him. Monday brought revelations. Jake cornered Alex by the bleachers after gym, breath fogging in the cold. Thanks for Saturday, he muttered, scuffing his sneaker. Dad's been on a tear since Mom left. It's like he hates himself most. Alex searched his face, seeing the boy behind the mask, vulnerable, veined with the same fears. Why me? Alex asked, voice barely above the wind. The bullying. What? Jake's shoulders sagged. Easier to punch down than up. You're strong. Out and shit. I envy that. The admission cracked something in Alex, a fissure of empathy. They parted with a nod, but the air hummed with possibility. As rehearsals intensified for the showcase, their bond deepened in stolen moments. Jake opened up in fragments. Lily's obsession with astronomy, how she'd drag him to the backyard with her telescope, dreaming of stars beyond Elmwood. Alex shared his own fragments. Nights writing poetry by flashlight, verses of longing for a world that saw him whole. Mia watched from afar, a knowing smile playing. Told you, she whispered one lunch, nudging Alex. But shadows loomed. Tom ramped up his garage sermons, customers nodding along, the town dividing like fault lines. The first real conflict erupted at the winter dance. Jim transformed into a twinkling wonderland of streamers and strobe lights. Alex went with Mia, platonic armor against the stairs. Jake arrived solo, Ty Askew, scanning the crowd. Their eyes met across the punch bowl, electric, inevitable. Dance? Jake asked, extending a hand, voice rough. Alex hesitated, heart thundering, then took it. The slow song wrapped them, bodies close but not touching, breaths sinking to the base. Whispers swirled, the jock and the queer kid. But in that bubble, Jake murmured, this feels right. Scary but right. Alex's reply died unspoken as Tom's truck idled outside, headlights piercing the windows like accusations. The dance ended in chaos. Mia pulled Alex aside mid-song, eyes wide. Trouble, your mom's calling. Something at the plant. But it was a ruse. Elena had texted about Tom's latest tirade, overheard at the bar. Alex slipped out, Jake following unbidden. In the parking lot, Tom leaned against his truck, flask in hand, spotting them. What the hell is this? He bellowed, lurching forward. My boy with the freak? Jake shoved Alex behind him, fire in his eyes. Back off, Dad. He's not the problem. You are. Fists flew, Tom's wild swing glancing Jake's jaw, before bystanders intervened, the night fracturing into shouts and sirens. In the aftermath, bruises bloomed like dark flowers. Jake iced his face at Alex's kitchen table, Elena pressing a cold pack with maternal grit. Boys like you, she said softly to Jake, carry the world's weight. Let someone help. Jake nodded, tears unshed, and for the first time, Alex saw the depth of his pain. The absent mother, the domineering father, the facade cracking. As snow fell outside, they talked till midnight, words weaving tentative threads of trust. But Tom simmered, a powder keg waiting for a spark. Spring teased Elmwood with early thaws, mud sucking at boots, hope budding fragile. Alex and Jake's friendship bloomed in secrecy. Late-night texts about constellations, shared smokes behind the auditorium, neither inhaling, just the ritual. Mia approved, dubbing it the bromance of the century, but warned of storms. Harlan men don't bend easy. Indeed, Tom watched Jake like a hawk, garage shifts doubling, interrogations laced with barbs. That Rivera's poison, he'd growl, wrench clanking. Jake endured, but the strain showed. Missed practices, hollow eyes. The twist came softly, a revelation in the stars. One April night, Lily's telescope session turned confessional. Jake had invited Alex over under pretense of homework, but Lily beamed at the nice friend stargazing with her. As she dozed inside, Jake and Alex lay on the dew-kissed grass, Orion's belt a bridge above. I like guys, Jake whispered, voice shattering the quiet. Or maybe just you. Alex's world tilted, breath caught in joy and terror. He turned, their hands brushing, innocent, profound. Me too, he admitted, the words a key unlocking hearts. But headlights swept the driveway, Tom home early, rage brewing. The fragile peace shattered like glass under Tom's boot that night. He burst through the back door, reeking of whiskey and fury, eyes locking on the two boys scrambling up from the grass. What the fuck is this? He roared, veins bulging in his neck. Lily whimpered from the kitchen window, but Jake stepped forward, shielding Alex. Nothing, Dad. Just talking. Tom's laugh was venomous. Talking? With that queer poison? Get him out now. Alex bolted, heart pounding. Jake's whispered sorry, chasing him into the dark. The rejection stung deeper than any slur, a betrayal laced with fear. School became a battlefield. Jake withdrew, echoes of his confession buried under sullen silences. Alex ached, the unspoken love a bruise that throbbed with every glance avoided. Mia became his lifeline, dragging him to coffee shop open mics where poets spilled guts like wine. He's scared, she said one evening, stirring her latte. Coming out's a bomb. Your family's the fallout. Alex nodded, but resentment festered. Was love worth the shards? Elena sensed it, leaving post-its on the fridge. Hearts heal, Mijo. Give it time. Tom's prejudice poisoned the town well. At the garage, he cornered customers with rants. My boy's gone soft, hanging with that fag. Next, the whole team's waving flags. Whispers reached the school board, pressure mounting on the theater club, inappropriate influences. Coach pulled Jake aside after practice. Harlan, focus. Rumors don't win games. Jake nodded mechanically, but inside, turmoil raged. He loved Alex. Fiercely, confusingly, but Dad's shadow loomed, a guillotine over his dreams of college scouts and escape. The misunderstanding peaked at the spring showcase, auditorium packed with proud parents and prying eyes. Alex shone as the lead, his soliloquy a raw cry against invisibility, voice trembling with borrowed pain. Jake watched from the wings, script forgotten, pride swelling amid the guilt. Applause thundered, but backstage, confrontation brewed. Tom waited in the lobby, arms crossed, face a storm cloud. Proud of that prancing? He sneered as Alex emerged, bouquet in hand from Mia. Alex's retort died as Jake appeared, pleading, Dad, please, just go. But Tom exploded, voice carrying. You're throwing away everything for this freak. The crowd hushed, stares piercing. Mia rushed in, pulling Alex away, but Jake stood firm. He's not a freak, he's better than this hate. Tom's fist connected with Jake's shoulder, a shove more than strike, but security swarmed. Chaos. Elena arriving in a whirl of maternal fury, demanding calm. Lily, snuck in with a neighbor, bursting into tears at the sight. Alex fled to the alley, chest heaving, the night's magic ash. In the quiet that followed, alliances shifted. Elena invited Jake over the next day, no Tom in sight. Payne's a teacher, she told him over her famous empanadas, Lily coloring quietly nearby. No, Lily was at school. Wait, it was Saturday. Jake sat rigid, fork midway. I don't know how to fix this. Elena's eyes softened. Start with truth. Your dad's hurting too. Lost his wife, scared of losing you. But hate's a chain, love's the key. Jake absorbed it, the words a bomb. Later, alone with Alex in the backyard, swings creaking, he apologized. I froze. But I meant it, every word under the stars. Alex forgave, tentative, their hands linking on the chain link. But prejudice's tendrils reached further. Mia faced her own fire. Her parents, conservative holdouts in a liberal facade, discovered her journal and issued an ultimatum. Choose family or that lifestyle. She crashed at Alex's, duffel in hand, eyes red but defiant. They're blind, she said, curling on the couch. The trio, Alex, Jake, Mia, formed a pact that night, whispering dreams by flashlight. College in Columbus, art collectives, football scholarships with pride flags. Vulnerability bonded them, laughter piercing the gloom. Yet conflict brewed in Jake's home. Tom, nursing a hangover and humiliation, doubled down. He rifled Jake's room, finding a hidden sketch, Alex's face, penciled tinder from memory. This ends now, he declared at dinner, plate slamming. Lily fled to her room, sobs muffled. Jake fought back. You don't get to decide who I love. Tom's response was a backhand, sharp but restrained, the first physical line crossed. Jake stormed out, biking to Alex's in the rain, dripping on the porch. I can't do this anymore, he gasped, collapsing into Alex's arms. They held each other, rain mingling with tears, the depth of their bond a quiet revolution. Spring deepened, dogwoods blooming defiant against the gray. The group navigated minefields, dodged Tom's glares at the diner, countered slurs with sharp wit. But a larger storm gathered. Budget cuts threatened the theater program, scapegoating divisive elements like Alex's role. Petitions circulated, Mia leading the charge with fiery speeches at assembly. Jake signed first, publicly, his pen stroke a declaration. Tom saw it in the paper, fury boiling over into a confrontation at the field. You're dead to me, he spat, but Jake's reply cut deeper. Then live with ghosts, Dad. The emotional crescendo built through stolen summers. Wait. No, it was still spring, but warmth hinted at summer. Alex and Jake's love unfolded in fragments. A first kiss behind the bleachers, soft and searching. Walks by the river, hands intertwined, sharing fears of futures fractured. Mia found her own spark. A barista at the coffee shop, quiet and queer, offering tentative coffees and conversations. But discrimination's shadow lengthened. A hate crime rocked a neighboring town, newsreels showing boarded windows and slurs spray-painted raw. Elmwood tensed, eyes on its own others. Alex internalized it, poetry turning dark, verses of flames consuming closets. Jake noticed, pulling him close one twilight. We're stronger together, he murmured, foreheads touching. But doubt whispered, could they outrun the fire? Tom's isolation grew. Customers drifted, whispers of his unhinged rants spreading. Lily bridged the gap, her innocence a plea. Drawings slipped under Alex's door, stars labeled for friends. She saw the good, untainted. The turning point came unbidden, a neighborhood block party meant for unity, but laced with tension. Grills smoked, kids chased fireflies early, but Tom's absence loomed. Rumor had he was at the bar. Jake and Alex arrived together, hands brushing, Mia on their arm like a sentinel. Laughter flowed, but eyes followed. Then, a shout from down the street. Fire. The Harlan house. Abandoned that evening, Tom out, Lily at a sleepover, engulfed in flames, windows belching orange. Sirens wailed distant as the block party dissolved into panic, neighbors spilling onto lawns like ants from a disturbed hill. Alex's blood ran cold. Jake's house, the one with the sagging porch and Lily's telescope in the window, now a pyre against the dusk. Jake, Alex yelled, but his boyfriend, still new, the word thrilling and terrifying, was already sprinting, sneakers pounding pavement. Mia grabbed Alex's arm. Wait, it's suicide. But reason drowned in adrenaline. Alex tore free, chasing the boy he loved into the maw of danger. Flames clawed the night sky, heat blasting like an open oven as they reached the edge of the yard. The old Victorian groaned, built in the 1920s with dry-as-bone wood and outdated wiring. Tom's neglect a silent accomplice. Smoke billowed thick, acrid, choking coughs from the gathering crowd. Anyone inside? A neighbor shouted. Jake shook his head, frantic. Dad's at the bar, Lily's safe. But my phone, my stuff? His voice broke. It wasn't things, it was home, the fragile shell holding their fractured family. Alex gripped his shoulder. We call it in. Now. But even as 911 crackled through a borrowed phone, Jake's eyes fixed on the inferno, memories flashing. Birthday cakes in that kitchen, Mom's laughter echoing before she left. Fire trucks arrived in a symphony of lights and horns, hoses uncoiling like serpents. Firefighters barked orders, masks descending, axes glinting. "Clear the area," one yelled, but Jake surged forward, Alex hauling him back. "You can't," Alex started, but a window shattered above, glass raining like deadly confetti. Then, a figure stumbled from the side door. Tom, coughing, wild-eyed, coat smoldering. He'd come home early, stumbling from the bar, only to find his world ablaze. "Jake," he rasped, collapsing to his knees in the grass. The reunion was raw, unscripted, Jake dropping beside him, pounding his back as paramedics swarmed. "What happened?" Jake demanded, voice raw. Tom wheezed, oxygen mask fogging. "Cigarette. Wiring. Stupid." Guilt etched his face, deeper than wrinkles from years of squinting at engines. Alex hovered at the periphery, heart twisting. Mia arrived, wrapping him in a hug, her own tears hot on his neck. The house surrendered in a roar, roof caving with a thunderous crack, embers swirling like malevolent fireflies. Neighbors murmured prayers, some crossing themselves, others filming on phones for the morning news. In the hospital waiting room, fluorescent was a harsh counterpoint to the night's drama, truths unraveled. Tom, bandaged and sedated, slept in a room down the hall, Lily fetched by Elena and curled in her lap, tiny fists clenched. Jake paced, Alex beside him, their hands linked under the unforgiving chairs. "He could have died," Jake whispered, voice hollow. "And for what?" "His hate." Alex squeezed, words measured. "Maybe this breaks the cycle. Fire cleanses, right?" But Jake's laugh was bitter. "Or it just burns everything down." Mia fetched vending machine coffee, black and scalding, her barista crushed texting check-ins. "You're heroes just for showing up," she said, distributing styrofoam cups. But heroism felt distant. Exhaustion gnawed, the weight of what-ifs heavy. Dawn crept through blinds, painting stripes on the linoleum, when Tom woke. Jake entered alone first, the door clicking soft. Voices murmured low. Anger, apology, the jagged edges of a father-son fracture. Alex listened from the hall, Elena's hand on his shoulder. "Give them space, Mijo." When Jake emerged, eyes red-rimmed, but clearer, he pulled Alex into an empty consult room. He said he's sorry. For everything. The slurs, the fights. Says he was scared. Of losing me like Mom. The confession hung, vulnerable. Alex nodded, throat tight. "And you?" Jake's smile ghosted. "I told him about us." He didn't swing. Progress. They embraced, foreheads touching, the room shrinking to just them. Love's quiet victory amid ruin. Discharge brought them to Elena's duplex. Tom's frame too large for the sagging couch, but accepted with grudging grace. Lily bounced between them, her telescope miraculously salvaged from the yard, pointing it at the ceiling fan stars. Tom avoided Alex's eyes at first, grunts substituting for greetings, but necessity bred civility. Shared meals, Elena's kitchen a neutral ground. One evening, as rain pattered the roof, Tom cleared his throat over reheated lasagna. "Kid," he rumbled, fork pausing. Alex looked up, pulse quickening. "What you did? Standing up at the dance, not running." "Brave." The word landed awkward but sincere, a bridge plank extended over the chasm. Prejudice's remnants lingered, though. Town gossip swirled. The fire blamed on Harlan's demons, whispers linking it to family troubles, with winks at Jake and Alex's handholds. Mia faced blowback at school, notes in her locker, Dyke starter, but she countered with a mural in the art hall, vibrant figures linking arms against flames. Jake joined the petition to save theater, his testimony at the board meeting a bombshell. "Alex taught me courage isn't loud, it's showing up." Cheers erupted, the program spared by a narrow vote. Yet internal conflict simmered. Jake grappled with identity. Therapy sessions Elena arranged uncovering layers. Resentment toward Tom's machismo. Grief for the mother who fled without goodbye. "I don't want to be him," Jake confessed one night, Alex tracing patterns on his back. "But what if I am?" Alex's reply was fierce. "You're you. Kind, fierce. That's enough." Their love deepened in these vulnerabilities, kisses lingering, conversations marathons into dawn. Mia's romance blossomed too, The barista, Sam, with freckles and a guitar, joining their circle, strumming folk tunes on the porch. A surprise twist emerged from the ashes. Insurance delays stranded the Harlans, but a GoFundMe, seeded by Mia's viral post, surged, donations pouring from unexpected quarters. Even Coach chipped in, muttering about team spirit. Tom, humbled by the outpouring, attended his first PFLAG meeting, Elena's gentle nudge. There, amid folding chairs and coffee urns, he heard stories mirroring his rage. Parents who'd lost children to silence. Tears tracked his weathered cheeks, unspoken. "Maybe I can change," he told Jake later, voice gruff. Summer arrived humid and healing. Fireflies dancing where flames once raged. The group camped by the river, tents pitched in a defiant circle. Around the fire, controlled, of course, they shared stories. Alex's poetry recited to stars, Jake's football dreams laced with pride, Mia and Sam's harmonies weaving magic. Tom even joined one evening, Lily on his knee, roasting marshmallows with clumsy sticks. Awkward silences punctuated laughs, but progress etched in small ways. A nod to Alex, a question about the telescope. But tension crested again, a final conflict born of old habits. Tom's ex, Jake's mom, returned unannounced, a whirlwind of perfume and promises drawn by news clips. She scooped Lily up, cooing, but her eyes on Jake held calculation. "Come live with me in Cleveland, fresh start away from this." She gestured vaguely at Alex, disdain veiled. Jake froze, heart torn. The choice loomed, family fractured or love forged. The air in Elena's living room thickened like storm clouds as Carla Harlan swept in, designer purse swinging like a pendulum of disruption. She'd aged gracefully, hair streaked artful blonde, laugh practiced, but her presence unearthed buried shrapnel. Lily squealed, clinging to her legs, but Jake stood rigid by the window, fists clenched at his sides. Alex hovered in the kitchen doorway, Elena's hand steady on his arm, a silent anchor. "Mom," Jake said, voice flat, "what are you really doing here?" Carla's smile faltered, then rallied. "Heard about the fire, baby. Thought my family might need me." Tom, slumped in his armchair, visitor in his own ruin, barked a laugh, bitter as black coffee. "Now you show?" After 2 years of radio silence. The accusation hung, raw, pulling scars wide. Carla's eyes darted, settling on Jake with maternal guile. "We could start over. You, me, Lily, in the city. Good schools, opportunities. Away from." Her gaze flicked to Alex, the pause loaded. Small-town drama. The room inhaled sharp. Mia, arrived with takeout as buffer, set the bags down with deliberate calm. Drama? Or just life? Jake's world narrowed to that choice. A fork in the river he'd only just learned to navigate. Cleveland promised escape, scouts buzzing about his arm, urban anonymity to explore his truth. But leaving meant abandoning the fragile rebuild. Tom's tentative amends, Lily's stability, Alex's hand in his under the dinner table. That night, after Carla tucked Lily in with stories of city lights, Jake pulled Alex onto the porch swing, the chains creaking confessions. "She makes it sound easy," he whispered, head on Alex's shoulder. "But you're my home now." Alex's heart swelled, but fear nipped. "Don't stay for me. Stay for you." The conflict escalated over days, Carla ensconcing like a cuckoo, cooking elaborate breakfasts Elena politely endured, whispering to Jake of better paths. Tom seethed in silence. Garage shifts his refuge. But one evening, he confronted her in the yard, voices carrying through screens. "You left us to rot. Now play savior? Hypocrite." Carla's retort sliced. "Better than your poison, Tom. Turning our boy into that." The slur unspoken, but thunderous. Jake overheard, storming out. "Enough. I'm gay, Mom. And happy. Deal with it, or leave." The ultimatum landed like a grenade, shrapnel of tears and slammed doors. Carla packed that night, Lily's wails echoing, but not before a final plea to Jake. "Think of your future. Football, normalcy." He shut the door on her, choice made, but the cost lingered in Lily's quiet drawings, stars dimmed. Alex held him through the sobs, their love a bulwark, but prejudices echo in Carla's words reopened wounds. "What if she's right?" Jake murmured at dawn. "What if I ruin everything?" Alex's reply was poetry incarnate. You save us, every day. That's your future. Town ripples amplified the personal quake. The GoFundMe peaked, but trolls surfaced. Anonymous barbs. Queer agenda burning houses? Mia doxed one, her quick fingers tracing IP to a local. Confrontation yielding a sheepish apology at the coffee shop. Sam backed her, their relationship a steady flame. Late-night gigs where Mia's sketches illustrated lyrics of resilience. Alex channeled turmoil into a new play, Ashes to Allies. Workshopped with the club, Jake reading the father's role, infusing Tom's growl with newfound nuance. Tom's arc bent further, grudgingly attending Jake's therapy group, Veterans and Families, stories of loss mirroring his. There, amid folding chairs, he shared haltingly. The night Mom left, bottle in hand, vowing to man up alone. Tears fell unashamed. Jake, eavesdropping outside, saw not weakness, but humanity. Back home, over Elena's arroz con pollo, Tom extended an olive branch to Alex. Awkward, beer-fueled. Heard your play idea? Sounds real. Mind if I watch a rehearsal? Alex blinked, stunned, nodding. The gesture cracked final barriers, a step from mocker to man. But climax brewed in subtlety, emotional undercurrents surging. Jake's scout visit to Columbus coincided with a town pride event. Mia and Sam's idea, flags waving tentative in Elmwood Square. Alex organized, nerves jangling. Tom's offer to haul tables a surreal boon. Crowds gathered mixed. Allies with signs, skeptics with crossed arms. Jake returned mid-fest, bus rumbling in, sprinting to Alex amid the picnic blankets. Scholarship, full ride, he hooped, lifting Alex in a spin. Joy erupted, but a heckler from the crowd, Carla's echo in a local face, shouted slurs. Jake faced him down, voice steady. Love wins. Get over it. The high-crested, but tension coiled unseen. Lily's school project, a family tree, prompted innocent questions. Why's Mom gone? Is it cause of Alex? Jake fumbled, Tom stepping in with uncharacteristic gentleness. Families bend, kiddo. They don't break. The words, born of fire's forge, healed incrementally. Alex and Jake's nights deepened, walks turning to dreams shared, joint apartment in college, theater and turf entwined. But doubt's whisper persisted for Alex. Was this redemption real or ash-dusted illusion? The unexpected turn struck during a late July storm, thunder rumbling like distant artillery. Tom, alone at the temporary rental, a cramped trailer on the garage lot, smelled smoke again. Faulty extension cord, forgotten fan, flames licked quick. He woke coughing, disoriented, dialing 911 with trembling fingers. Jake got the call mid-movie night at Alex's, face paling. Dad again. They raced, Alex driving Elena's old Civic, wipers slashing rain. Fire crews contained it fast, no injuries, but the trailer gutted, Tom's few salvaged photos curling black. In the ER glow, Tom broke fully. Can't keep burning bridges, he rasped to Jake, Alex at his bedside. You saved me, twice over. Not from fire, but from myself. Tears carved tracks. Jake gripped his hand, forgiveness a floodgate. Alex slipped out, giving space, but Tom's call pulled him back. Rivera, Alex. I was wrong. Dead wrong. Your family now. The words, gruff and gold, sealed shifts. Mia, arriving with coffee brigade, quipped. Hell froze, then thawed. Summer waned, but bonds waxed. The group volunteered at the rebuild. Harlan House rising phoenix-like, community hammers swinging. Carla sent checks, no notes, her silence a distant peace. Lily's stars shone brighter, telescope sessions trios now, Tom's grunts evolving to questions. Alex's play premiered to standing ovations, Tom's front row sniffles hidden in shadow. Love's tendrils, Alex and Jake's quiet intimacies, Mia and Sam's harmonies, wove resilience. Yet one final conflict loomed, internal for Alex. A college acceptance to NYU's drama program, Lights of Broadway calling. Jake's Columbus offer anchored local, the pull tearing. Don't go. Jake pleaded one harvest moon night, Riverbank their confessional. Or go, but take me. Alex's heart warred, ambition versus anchor. The choice crystallized in dawn's light, decision a leap of faith. Autumn leaves carpeted Elmwood streets in crimson and gold, a tapestry of transition mirroring the lives entwined within. Alex's NYU letter crinkled in his pocket like a talisman, the city's siren song clashing with the steady rhythm of Jake's hand in his. They'd argued softly the night before, voices hushed on the porch, Elena pretending not to hear from the kitchen window. "It's your dream," Jake had said, eyes stormy. "But you're mine." Alex had traced his jaw, memorizing the line. Dreams expand, Amor. They don't divide. Now, walking to school under overcast skies, the weight pressed, but resolution flickered, a compromise born of love's logic. Deferral for a year, joint applications ahead. The town buzzed with harvest fair preparations, booths rising like hopeful skeletons, but undercurrents of change rippled. Tom's garage thrived anew, Harlan's Pride Auto stenciled subtle on the sign, a nod to Jake's suggestion, rainbow subtle in the logo's curve. Customers returned, drawn by whispers of redemption. Tom greeted Alex with gruff handshakes, even asking after his poetry slams. Lily, now the fair's junior coordinator, roped them all into pie-baking contests, her laughter a glue binding fractures. Mia and Sam led the Pride booth, buttons and zines flying, their engagement, casual rings swapped in a guitar string ceremony, a beacon. Jake's football season peaked, scouts circling like hawks, but his plays now carried poetry, passes arcing graceful, tackles fierce but fair. Off-field, he mentored freshmen, sharing Alex's mantras of inner strength. One game, under floodlights, he dedicated a touchdown to "my team." On and off, crowd roaring ambiguous approval. Alex watched from the stands, Mia beside, heart swelling with pride laced in ache. Post-win, Jake pulled him into the locker room shadows, kissed salt-sweet with sweat. "We got this," he murmured. "Us against the world, or with it." The fair dawned crisp, cider steaming, Ferris wheel creaking against blue skies. Tensions simmered low, a few sour faces, but mostly curiosity yielding to cheers. Tom's pie, apple, Elena's recipe, took blue ribbon, his grin sheepish as Lily pinned it on. Carla's absence loomed gentle, a postcard arriving. "Proud of you all. Stars align." Forgiveness unspoken, but felt. Alex performed his piece at the main stage, verses of fire and rebirth, voice carrying over the hay bales. Jake stood front, eyes locked, the crowd's applause a wave crashing doubt. But the true climax unfolded in quiet, a family reckoning at dusk. As lights strung the midway twinkled on, Tom gathered them. Jake, Alex, Lily, Elena, even Mia and Sam. In the rental's yard, fire pit crackling safe. "Been thinking," he started, voice rough as gravel. "Fire took my house, but gave me this." Gestures encompassed the circle, halting. "I mocked you, Alex. Called you names no kid deserves. Was blind, scared of mirrors." Pauses heavy, he met Alex's eyes. "You're the best thing to happen to my boy. To us." Alex's throat closed, not sufficient. Jake's arm tightened around him, tears glinting. Lily broke the spell, telescope in tow. "Look, Orion's back." They clustered, faces upturned, stars pricking the velvet sky. In that moment, prejudices dissolved like mist, understood not erased, but integrated, fuel for growth. Mia whispered to Sam, "We did that." Elena smiled, her boy's hand in the bully's, full circle. Winter returned softer, snow blanketing rebuilds. Alex deferred NYU, enrolling at Ohio State with Jake. Drama and kinesiology, futures intertwined. Theater club flourished, ashes, touring schools, sparking dialogues. Tom's PFLAG involvement deepened. He mentored a scared dad at meetings, voice steady. "Listen first. Love follows." Mia and Sam's wedding, small, riverside, drew the town, toasts toasting change. Years blurred, graduations, moves to Columbus apartments alive with scripts and cleats. Alex's plays garnered reviews. Jake coached high school teams with pride banners. Visits home wove tight, Lily's college apps, Tom's retirement garage tales. Love's evolutions. Alex and Jake's quiet ceremony. Rings exchanged under stars, Mia officiating with Sam's melody. In Elmwood's heart, the Harlan Rivera house stood rebuilt, porch swing creaking new confessions. One summer eve, fireflies dancing, Alex leaned into Jake. From mockery to this, he mused. Jake kissed his temple. You saved me, from fire, from fear. Alex smiled, green eyes reflecting flames controlled. We saved each other. The town, once shadows, now shimmered, prejudices challenged, loves affirmed. In the blaze of overcoming, they found not just survival, but spark, enduring, electric, eternal.